Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? This is Mike Loris, and the next set from the Premier League Season 4. We're going to be following KP just a little bit longer as they continue onward from facing Team Liquid and going into a set versus Absolute Legends. Both of these teams not doing too hot in this tournament, AL, just because, well, they haven't been doing too hot, and KP also have just recently taken up the reins in this tournament, so they're kind of like at an inherent disadvantage because they inherited the poor score of Pain Gaming, who I believe they replaced. So it's like not really truly representative of their skills, but yeah, we're going to be following them for one more set, and we can already see the bans looking a little bit strange. Mag, Lifestealer, as well as Nature's Prophet. Those are the types of heroes that aren't like the insta-bans, like Keeper of the Light, Batrider, and Nyx, Wisp. Those types of heroes who just, they're always banned. They're always banned. Magnus, Lifestealer, and Nature's Prophet are heroes that are definitely heroes that you might want to consider banning out. They're extremely powerful heroes. They have a lot of utility, they are picked up very often, but just having so many of those heroes in this particular game, hitting the first ban pool, is going to mean that we're going to see a couple of different heroes, such as the Lone Druid, Keeper of Light, as well as the Batrider. How often do you get to see these three heroes being picked up on the same team in the same game? Pretty rare. These three heroes are incredibly strong individually. Together there's no real synergy between them. I mean, they're all going to go probably their own separate ways, unless they want to do a farming Lone Druid, which they might want to do. I mean, a safe farming Lone Druid, but more than likely it's going to be a Lone Druid in the hard lane, Batrider mid, and then Keeper of the Light supporting some random carry on that top lane. So, I mean, they have the very strong heroes. They'll have a good amount of counter push as well as regular push, because of that Lone Druid demolish. We'll see how the Batrider fares in the mid lane. And KP, on the other hand, going to go for the Nyx Assassin Darkseer, two very, very strong heroes as well. Again, a lot of these heroes that you pick up first, like, the ones that I've just listed, they're not really, like, hugely... They don't have the hugest of synergy between each other. I mean, it's decent, but it's definitely not too spectacular. And they're going to have the Gyrocopter as the final pick. So, no real synergy between these heroes aside from the fact that the Darkseer, as well as the Nyx, will serve as pretty good defensive tools for the Gyrocopter. So, KP should be able to keep that Gyro alive. That being said, however, AL do have the Batrider, and he really excels at just yanking out people from the middle of the fight. And Gyrocopter, if he's unfortunate enough to be in the middle of the fight, or even near the front lines, then the lasso will come in, and then Gyrocopter won't be able to be saved by Nyx Assassin or Darkseer. It would behoove KP to pick up one more guaranteed stun, something like a Shadow Demon kind of pick, so that if Gyrocopter does get taken for a ride, you could instantly disrupt him or the Batrider, depending on whichever one would best suit your purpose, and then just leave it at that. You'll save your Gyrocopter a lot of trouble. Nyx Assassin can do something like that, although it's a little bit harder just because of the type of spell that Impale is and really how it works. We're gonna see a couple more bans being banned out right now. KP gonna have banned out from them the Queen of Pain so far. That is even though they do have the Nyx as well as the Gyrocopter, who can be run in the mid lane. So KP do have a good amount of lane flexibility. So far, all three heroes really could handle the lanes by themselves. Same can be said from the Absolute Legends side, so I guess really a little bit of this second ban phase will just come down to which heroes do they not want to play against. Because you could focus the solo mid bans if you're Absolute Legends, but in the end, they could just run the Gyrocopter mid, they could just run the Nyx Assassin mid, hell, they could even run the Darkseer mid if they really choose to do so. AL, we're going to have banned out from them the Phantom Lancer, get rid of that very potent Phantom Lancer as well as Keeper of the Light combination. KP's bans should be a little bit more straightforward, just because the only flexibility that they truly have, the AL side, is are they going to lane the Batrider in the solo mid lane, or are they going to put him in an off lane? And then you could kind of base your bans around that. But right now, AL should be looking for another kind of carry-ish damage hero. And yes, they do have the Lone Druid already, but you can't really bank 100% on Lone Druid unless you want to give him a safe lane. And then once you give him the safe lane, it's like, well, should you have even picked the Lone Druid if you just want to pick up a hero for that safe lane? Get a much harder carry who excels much easier if you want to go for that kind of play. KP gonna ban out the Shadow Demon. Kind of an interesting ban. You would think they would have liked to pick that hero up for themselves. The Shadow Demon Gyrocopter is a solid pickup in lane. An assassin to capitalize further on top of that. I mean, I guess they just don't want it to happen. Last final ban out from Absolute Legends is going to be the Puck, followed by the Clockwork. Once again, banning out these potential mid lane heroes. Kaipi, they could just choose to pretty much completely ignore the bans from Absolute Legends and just, circumvent the entire ideas behind them. They would like to go for a couple support heroes, but although at the same time, though, Gyrocopter and Nyx can have that support role.
10 seconds remaining.
More than likely for KP, it's going to be Eternal Envy
5 seconds remaining.
on that Gyrocopter, hard carrying. Seen that been done from them in the last set between themselves and Team Liquid. Didn't exactly work too perfectly. There was a couple of rough patches in their play and everything like that, but it's definitely a viable option for KP if they decide to run that. Final ban is actually going to be the Alchemist. They're really targeting the farmers of AL, and AL, who are they missing? Mania, Megal, Rise, Miracle. Jolene is standing in for Unicorn, the hard carry from AL, so we'll see if they switch up their lineup at all. Let's see, KP gonna run similar. That's the regular lineup. The pick is actually gonna be the Weaver, getting even more lane flexibility, a lot more single target damage, which is something that AL are very, very potent at right now. They just find a single target, get in, kill them, and then move on to the next target. And that Gyrocopter is definitely gonna look mighty tasty to both the Weaver and the Lone Druid. So now with this Weaver pick, though, I think the Weaver might be going to a solo lane. I mean, Lone Druid and Weaver typically both do solo lanes, and they can run a Lone Druid mid or something like that. Just throw Bat Rider in the jungle. AL will need another support hero. They do have more than enough damage to carry themselves through this game, just with the individual power of the Weaver as well as the Lone Druid. It's a lot of single target focused, not too much disable from the Absolute Legends side quite yet, but with one more support hero needing to be picked up from the AL side, it's going to be pretty easy to pick up that disable. Going against the Darks here, as well as Gyrocopter, you really would like that disable. KP, speaking of disable, going to go for that Bane Elemental. Good lockdown versus the Weaver as well as the Lone Druid. It's really, really good versus the Bat Rider. If he blinks in for a lasso, you instantly put him to sleep, and your guy is not going anywhere. And of course you have the Fiend's Grip, which will go through any magic immunity that Absolute Legends will eventually pick up. It's probably going to be not that much magic immunity. The Weaver is the only one who would really go for that, and if he does go for any sort of magic protection, it is probably going to be the Lincoln Sphere, which would help him quite a bit in this game. Final pick from Absolute Legends is going to be a Rubik. So keep your light Rubik, seen this many, many times. I think the game plan for AL is just sit back and wait. They have all game to farm the Lone Druid, all game to farm the Weaver, and really their support heroes scale decently into the late game. Bat Rider will always have that lasso to initiate. Rubik will always have enemy spells to steal, and Keeper of the Light, well, that Blinding Flash is going to be a pain in the ass for KP, alongside the fact that Keeper of the Light's counter push will always be there, unless KP get a very, very early pipe, but really Darkseer would be the one getting that. Mech probably is going to be a little bit of a higher priority for him. And KP, with their final ban out, with the final pick, gonna be the Lina. So it's most likely going to be an Assassin mid. It is. We're going to see a Rise on that Nyx. And then Gyro, Bane, Lina. That is a devastating combination right there. Just the fact that you have guaranteed stun setup means that the other team's going to be hurting. Let's take a look at who's playing what on the AL side. We have Mania on that Lone Druid. Rise is going to probably head towards the mid lane as the Bat. Miggle, Keeper of the Light, Miracle is going to be playing the Rubik. And Jolene is going to be on that Weaver. Looks like it's going to be a tri-lane for AL, an aggressive tri-lane with the Weaver. It's very interesting. Weaver could do some pretty good damage with the Shikuchi, 90 damage, with a rather low cooldown, very spammable. It's a decent spell, but really, is that the combo you want? They have enough burst damage, but do they have enough lockdown to capitalize on that burst damage? Because they're up against a very, very intense tri-lane. A Pylai Die on the Lina, Zizu on the Bane. Eternal Envy is going to be playing that Gyrocopter on the tri-lane. A Rise, as I said before, is going to be mid-laning, and Bone is going to... Is that T? Is that Bonnet? I have no idea. Bone is going to be playing the Darkseer on that top lane versus the Lone Druid 1v1. Should be an easy lane for AL there. But this tri-lane for KP is going to be incredibly dangerous. They just profit announced. Let's get that. Yeah, so the tri-lane very, very dangerous for KP because they're all incredibly soft. they have the Weaver, who's pretty much paper. Rubik is a little bit less than paper, and Keeper of the Light, who is like wet paper. So on a scale of 1 to paper, their team is incredibly paper. Because if they get caught out with just a single Nightmare, then that's going to be it. It's pretty much game over for them. Eternal Envy using 90 mana to get 2 salvos of that Rocket Barrage onto that Keeper of the Light. Not too worth it, but finding a double damage rune means that they can go for early aggression or just have Eternal Envy very safely farm up in the early stage. Bone going to try to look to make a block onto this camp. The bear is going to harass him a little bit, and Bone actually, he's going to pull some creeps, taking an awful lot of damage as Darkseer actually. And he's just going to pull the creeps away. Do something that lone druids usually do if they're on the solo top lane for the Radiant side. Just to pull the creep wave, and he's actually going to do lane cutting. So he's going to be just fine farming this up. Mania is going to be forced to last hit under the tower. However, with the fact that he has a bear to tank up as well as 2 units worth of damage, it means that he should be fine. But a single Nightmare from Zizu will mean death, and if he gets it right now, who's it going to be? He's looking for Miracle. He's trying to get onto Miracle. Do they have any Sentry Wards? They do, but they didn't actually want to go for the Weaver. A single Nightmare means that LSA is guaranteed to land, to pop him out of that Nightmare, and then Eternal Envy is there with just 1 point in Rocket Barrage. I would expect him to pick up a little bit more points in Rocket Barrage. We'll see if he actually does want to go for that sort of build or not. But that is a lot of burst damage, and really that's a lot of burst damage that the weak tri-lane of AL simply cannot afford to take. That being said, however, if AL do manage to find one out with the proper setup from this Rubik Telekinesis, then the magical damage from the Weaver as well as the Keeper of the Light might be able to bag them a kill. But really, they have to be super defensive in this lane. Keeper of the Light as well as Rubik are going to be in a lot of trouble if they get a little bit too close. And no, this is exactly what I'm talking about. There's the to lift up into an Illuminate. Pilot Die taking a good amount of damage. Miracle, though, is going to get slept. And there's the LSA. Eternal Envy right on top of him with that Rocket Barrage. Miracle is going to die. Lina on the run is not going to be the first blood. Bane picking up the first blood with Miggle taking an instant response kill. Lina is going to go on the sidelines, but she is level 2. Zizu now chasing down Miggle, wants to get another Nightmare. Does he have the mana? Yes, he does. Gonna catch him, and Eternal Envy gonna unleash his entire Rocket Barrage into Jolene. He should be fine though, another 2 seconds until the Shikuchi is up, plus he has a salve, so he can just pop the salve and do exactly that. Restore a whole lot of HP within the small duration. But Jolene is in a long way from home. Pilot Die gonna find him with an LSA. Zizu without any mana to follow up. Jolene wants another second for that Shikuchi, who's gonna make it out. No Dragon Slave from Pilot Die. I don't know if that would have been enough damage. It's 100 damage. It wouldn't have been enough. But still, Jolene just playing a little bit dangerously in the end. It is 1-to-1 with KP taking the first blood, I believe. Yes, it was KP taking the first blood onto the Gyrocopter, no less. No, Gyrocopter did not. Bane took the first blood. There you go. Bane took the first blood. That means Flying Courier. That means Shoes if he wants to. And that's the burst damage that KP are working with. Even though Pilot Die got caught out a little bit out of position, had enough. Miggle had enough time to really charge up that Illuminate, and Miracle had enough setup time to make sure that the Illuminate landed. Just the burst damage from KP is just immense, and they did take down Lita, yes, but that's a hero that they could really afford to sacrifice, and really you don't want to get this Gyrocopter any sort of kills or any sort of assists. Because he could capitalize to the fullest. Already going flat cannon, taking a lot of right clicks. I don't know if that was actually worth it. LSA onto Jolene though. Brain Sap is going to come in. No, an instant Shikuchi, and Jolene's going to be safe once again. Zizu a little bit too far away. I don't know if that Brain Sap would have killed him either. This Weaver constantly living at just a sliver of HP. Now gonna take a trip back to the fountain in the top lane. I'm sorry, Mania already lost his bear. Bone gonna go for a kill with that Ion Shell as well as Surge. Gonna make it happen as well. Tower shots not gonna bother him too much with that haste rune. You cannot escape that even if you are lone druid. Took the bear down as well as the hero. It's gonna be another kill going for KP, and now we can take a look at the mid lane. 15 for 7 on the Nyx versus the I expect a lot more. 16 for 6 actually. Rise doing a pretty good job at handling this mid lane. That mana burn from Rise really making it difficult for him to continue stacking up those stacks of Napalm. And now he might be in a little bit of trouble because we have the Darkseer rotating in. Maybe not. It's just going to be a Rune Scout out where it's an illusion on the bot. Not very useful at all. Rise really is handling this lane relatively well. Just being the melee hero against a ranged hero is hard enough. But then going up against a Bat Rider, it's incredibly difficult. But that mana burn really making it work. LSA is going to hit onto Miggle on the bot lane. Meanwhile, Pilot Die taking a nap. Miggle is going to take the Nightmare right before he dies. However, he will in fact die. Eternal Envy with the right click there. And Pilot Die trying to run away from this Weaver. Oh, was going to juke. Jolene canceled the next attack. Gonna look for another Shikuchi hit onto Pilot Die. I don't know where these trees went. That was the LSA from before. Trying to juke around once again. Pilot Die gonna get a little bit blocked, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. Jolene is He's going to try to go for Zizu with the help of Miracle. Will be able to make this happen. It's going to be Rubik taking that kill, and now Eternal Envy. He did get a kill, but AL tied up, getting 2 kills on the spot lane, both in the support heroes of KP. And that is the power of Weaver, really. Such a slippery hero. The Weaver will be leveling up that Shukuchi, which means a lower cooldown as well as more damage. And the more that happens, the more KP are going to be forced to try to burst down this Weaver all at once. Sentry Ward not used in this lane, so Jolene's going to have a free escape mechanism in that Shukuchi whenever. I mean, usually you could count a little bit of true sight onto this bottom lane, so that the Rocket Barrage can actually land on this Weaver. But so far, Weaver is having a pretty good time with the kills. Not so much gold, although he is doing rather decently in the grand scheme of things with only 10 CS. 102 kills as well does help. Most likely going to see a Ring of Protection being picked up from the Weaver and go for Tranquils, I bet. Weaver's not doing too bad this game. He's doing a lot of damage, able to cast multiple Shikuchis in every single fight. Can get a lot of Germinate attack as well. Now Shikuchi's getting more and more leveled. He's going to be very dangerous for these KP side. They do have a lot of burst, however. Brain Sap as well as Laguna Blade will mean that the Weaver won't have a single chance to do anything because he will be very, very dead. But if the Weaver plays slippery, if he continues to do so like he's been doing thus far in this game, he should be fine. Top lane 25 versus 23 CS. Mania, despite the fact that there is a lot of lane cutting going from the enemy Darkseer, he is still holding strong near the tower despite his 1 death. Oh, Miracle, you do not want to be there. Zizu's going to find a Nightmare. Instantly lifts up into the air, but it's not going to be enough to save him. Fade Bolt, and there's the Nightmare. LSA is going to land. Brain Sap, not even needing that LSA. Jolene trying to poke a little bit at Pylai Die, but they want Miggle, who already has the missile heading towards him. Missile going to hit, and Eternal Envy going to close the distance for that Rocket Barrage. No, it's not going to be enough. He stopped a little bit short, and now Jolene is back. Not much damage with that Enfeeble, but it should be enough to kill Pylai Die. It is. Keeper of the Light just barely manages to get out of there. This guy on a horse is incredibly fast, has early boots. Zizu does not actually have boots, and he could, but he instead went for a magic wand. Eternal Envy does have boots as well, but unfortunately the magic damage from Lina, not enough to snipe out that Keeper of the Light, and Keeper of the Light does get to run free, really outrunning that missile pretty well. This guy can move. Arise though, oh no, Mania, initiation, wall being dropped down even. That's an early level wall, level 8 wall. But regardless, take out the Lone Druid with a little bit of rotation, help from the Nyx, who's now level 8. That was, I believe, the first time he left the lane, and that resulted in a kill. Oh, Eternal Envy, what are you doing? Jolene, so much damage on this Weaver, and then he could just time-lapse his way out of there if he wants to, or he could just go for Zizu. He recognizes that this Bane is out of mana. This could be a double kill for the Weaver. He's got to watch out for a Nightmare, I guess, but no, it's actually going to be Brain Sap. Jolene going to go man mode onto this Bane. One more right click will do it. Going to trade his life, though. Oh, I don't know if that's worth it. I mean, getting a kill is great. It's going to give Zizu a huge chunk of money, breaking a dominating streak of the Weaver. But getting a couple kills, going to be, wow, a lot of small items for this Weaver. Tranquil Boots look like it's going to be drums? I don't know if I like drums on Weaver. I mean, drums is never really a bad item. There's not a hero that I would be like, oh, you're going for drums, you noob. You never go for drums on that hero. Because it has a bracer, and bracer's a freaking amazing item. But just the fact that you're going to rely on Shukuchi, and, well, I guess to make it clear, there are many players who play Weaver without getting any boots. And you're getting an item that gives you a lot of movement speed, so, yeah, take that for what it's worth. Jolene going to dive once again onto Eternal Envy. Gotta watch out this time, though, for a Nightmare initiation from Zizu. He does the mana this time. Jolene possibly being a little bit too aggressive. Illuminate not going to hit. Jolene going to try to time-lapse his way out of this. He will get a little bit closer to the tree line, and in the end, that will help him get out of there. Wasting the time lapse just because getting into a poor position, not exactly the ideal use of that spell. Illuminates continuing to fly, and Eternal Envy taking those to the face. This Keeper of the Light has been pretty good at sniping with those Illuminates thus far. We do see Pylai Die on the run from Miracle as well as Rise. Telekinesis get lifted up in the air. LSA is still going to hit, but there's the lasso, and I don't think Lina can get away from this. No, Firefly actually timed out. Rise is not going to be able to follow up as Rise does come back in for the kill onto Rise. And now the Nyx Assassin going to try to chase down Miracle, who's a long way from home. Does have a Fade Bolt, but that's pretty much it. Here comes the Darkseer to head him off. Impale's going to hit, and the Ion Shell damage plus right clicks. Rise trying to go for the last hit, but Bone says, nope, I'm going to take it. You can get the next one. So, a Rise killing off Rise, who used his Firefly very prematurely, it seems. Getting 3 points in Flame Break, a very peculiar build from the Bat Rider. Usually it is max out Sticky Napalm, and then make a choice between, do I want to get more Flame Break or Firefly? Usually it is Firefly. In that case, I mean, just didn't work out because Lina did manage to limp herself away from that. Not much damage. Definitely not much damage if you don't have that Firefly to cast. We do see a Rise heading towards the bot lane, looking for the 10-minute rune. Will have the Vendetta up in 15 seconds. And Miggle is a very, very easy kill, especially with Eternal Envy coming back into this lane. Will have the call down up once again. Dropped it before. I don't think I missed any kills, but regardless, it doesn't really matter. A Rise, 5 seconds, is going to run headlong to Miggle. No, not quite yet. Miggle's actually going to disconnect out of this game, so we're just going to speed through this reconnection process and see if this Keeper of the Light could actually escape the clutches of Rise. No, actually there is a ward, and Rise is completely spotted out. So, no surprises here, unless he dips back and then turns on Vendetta and then returns right back to the lane, which would be extremely sneaky from him. But Jolene is just going to spot everything out, should be fine to do so as well. Observer ward being dropped, Miracle, as well as Miggle, both spotted out as the Illuminate flies and gets absolutely nothing. Let's see how Mania is farming on this top lane. 46 for 10. Despite 2 deaths, he's actually getting a lot of gold on this Lone Druid. Not really doing much to stop this Darkseer from getting gold, but that's just the pressure that the Lone Druid has been having to deal with for the entirety of this game. Rise almost had a Blink Dagger. That death really set him back. He would almost have that Blink Dagger if he did not die in that previous top lane fight. But you know what? Coulda, shoulda, woulda. We now see Pylai die as well as Zizu. Gonna look for blood, and Purple's teleporting in as well. That is the Darkseer. Looking for a stun to Miracle. Is Pylai die fast enough to catch up to this hero with a vacuum? It would be. There's the Fiend's Grip as well as the wall. LSA onto 2. Miracle as well as Miggle both gonna die to the Gyrocopter. Simple rotation from Darkseer, just coming in for that very, very simple, just don't cast anything, just cast vacuum. Get 2 kills for your hard carry. And so far it is 10-6. AL not looking that great in this game, but still this game is pretty much dead even. The experience goal advantage slightly in favor of KP, but really it's just the momentum that's working against AL right now because they're constantly getting picked off, it seems, with any retaliation kill happening just barely. Illuminate will halt this push or at least stymie it as Jolene's continuing to get a little bit of CS. It's actually going to be a Ring of Basilius, just a raw bracer, I guess. With 4 heroes on this bot lane, AL, they might need a couple more heroes down here. They actually do have 2 in this mid lane. Rise is still working towards his Blink Dagger. We'll have it very shortly. We'll have it in 1 CS. There you go. Blink Dagger acquired for the Bat Rider. So 12 minutes on the Blink Dagger. Not too bad, considering his 1 death and the fact that he was up against a Nyx. But now Nyx looking for a kill onto Mania. Not going to happen. Too much health from that bear. Both teams seem to be content with just farming up. Really, so far, Bone is leading the way as far as CS is concerned. Darkseer just constantly creep cutting that Lone Druid, and there's nothing you can really do about that as a Lone Druid. Gotta keep my eye on this bot lane, 'cause aggression can happen at the moment's notice. If Pylai die, somehow manages to land an LSA onto this Weaver, a follow-up Laguna Blade as well as Dragon Slave, and this bug is dead. Pylai die, though, cannot really go into this area because I don't know if he knows the Sentry Ward. He seems to know. But if he does go over there, then everyone from AL either going to fall back or just converge onto that Lina. Zizu, though, is coming around. This is something that AL will not be prepared for. An instant Fiend's Grip will kill off Miggle. There's a Nightmare, and Jolene does get the Sentry Ward before he goes down. But there's the LSA. Are they going to burn the Laguna Blade? Yes, they will. Fiend's Grip onto Jolene. No time for time lapse. No time for that Chikuchi. And it's once again going to be a 2-kill pickup for KP. This time not in the supports, getting the one of the carries in the lane as well. Very good communication there, knowing who to Fiend's Grip and who to Laguna Blade. Top lane, Mania on the run, Arise going to land that Impale, and with Bone doing the damage with the Vendetta hit as well. Call down is going to hit, it will hit, and Gyrocopter with that level 4 Rocket Barrage, yes, is going to find the kill onto another Absolute Legends hero. In the meantime, the bottom lane is being pushed, top lane is going to be pushed as well. Teleportation coming in, Pylai die without any mana, has to fall back from this, just going to teleport out of there, will be just fine to do so. Top lane with double damage on the Darkseer, going to punch it down very hard. And we'll take the tower. Rise once again. Looking for that, will not find it. Jolene actually decided taking a bath in the bottom lane tower. Not sure what that was about. Miracle trying to find a couple levels in this mid lane. Will hit the level 7 mark, or should hit the level 7 mark. Going to get another point in that Fade Bolt. A little more burst damage, never hurt. And one Zizu. Just barely escaping that flame break from Rise. A little bit of a misfire there. But he still has the Blink Lasso, and now KP, they definitely know about it. Bottom lane tower should drop for AL, especially bringing in Mania. this tower is not long for life. What does he have? He's going straight for an armlet. Not going to waste any time with Orb of Venom or anything. Could be a mistake, but who knows. So there's going to be one tower down for either side. KP looking to make a second tower happen. Miracle still needs to steal something. Iron Shell would help, although it looks like he just stole... Oh, actually he got Iron Surge. Put Iron Surge on the bear. That's a sick combination right there. Rise in this top lane. He's going to be warded away by Mania. Would still be brought in from the Keeper of the Light, although not yet, because it just timed out that Spirit Form. Mid lane push will be halted. In the meantime, Jolene as well as Rise still putting pressure onto this bot lane. Put a couple scratches onto this tier 2, but they really have to worry about Nyx's Assassin coming in. They're diving extremely deep for this. Bone looking for a vacuum. Not going to happen. Miracle turning around for a telekinesis. The Illuminate is being charged up. Not going to hand up to anyone as teleportation support does come in. Everyone from AL is going to be just fine. They're going to... Oh, until Miracle walks straight into 2 heroes. Then you're not going to be just fine. I don't know what that was about, but definitely cannot recommend it. Even the Keeper of the Light taking a little bit of his own medicine. Here comes Rise, though. Who are they going to go for? Instantly, no, not Nightmare. He actually dodged the cast. Cast animation from Bane didn't go off, and Batrider does not have his Firefly, though. Burnt it. Wow, he burnt it from really far away. That was completely unnecessary. He, like, cast it here. He could have waited until he cast it until, like, over here. That's a good, what, 4 or 5 seconds of Firefly duration? Looks like that will, in the end, deter KP from pushing any further, but I don't know about that. It could have been another kill, especially since after Miracle going and throwing his life away, you kind of want to get something after that. But in the end, they're just going to have to settle with the score being 14-6, 60 minutes into the game, and a smoke from Miracle as well as Rise. Like Miggle did not get the invitation, so it sucks to be him. But a smoked up Batrider with a Blink Dagger going to where Jolene is just currently farming that bottom jungle area. They want Eternal Envy, and they should be able to get him. He has 1,700 gold, so he could buy his Mithril Hammer if he's going to go for a fast BKB, although I don't know if that's the best choice. Smoke is going to be successful, it looks like. Blink forward. I don't know why my alarm is going off at 8:30 p.m., but that shouldn't matter. We have Highlight Die coming in. Flame Break instantly going to push him back. Bone going to send that Lina forward, looking for an LSA. Not going to happen. Lifts up into the air. Jolene should roll one right click. Will do it. Missile's going to fly. Hit onto Rise, but a vacuum back is going to pull back Miracle. Call down is going to fall right on top of the Weaver. Not going to care that much. Rise once again getting stunned, and Zizou's going to find the kill with that Brain Sap as Gyrocopter does pause because of the dropped Lina. And we're going to have to wait for a restart, so doesn't work lasso. The lasso didn't work? Yeah, well, did that really? Well, okay. I guess lasso too hard. Let's just skip through this. I'm trying to remember why my alarm went off. Why would I set an alarm for right now? Oh, I remember why. That's not important. Anyway, Jolene still moving around the enemy tier 2. Will find a snipe off on the courier. Definitely going to help the Dire's cause by quite a bit, unless this happens. Instantly, Fiend's Grip to Rise with the Vendetta hit, Ion Shell, and Impale. Trading the Weaver for the courier might be slightly worth it. I mean, AL definitely, they need as much as they can get, but losing that Weaver definitely not helping them out. Mania is going to be really the one doing a lot of that big damage with the armlet on the bear. Might be looking for a Lightning Hammer to follow this up. Weaver really doesn't have anything. He has Drums, which, let's look at what Drums does. It gives him 12 damage, 9 to all attributes, which is nice. But Mania sticking around for way too long, really wants the tower, will get it, but now he's going to have to be going up against 3 heroes, try and teleport either. Nightmare's going to cancel that off. Call down, going to break the Nightmare. LSA is going to be used as well as that Laguna Blade. And Lone Druid dies in exchange for the tower. AL making some pretty questionable trades, I would say. They are going to get a little bit of map control for that, but they really cannot afford to be throwing away these heroes, especially the 2 hardest carries on their team in the Weaver as well as the Lone Druid. You keep throwing these heroes away, and you're going to regret it. Smoke almost being dispelled. Zizou now going to reveal the fact that there is someone nearby. Pilai Die still smoked up, though. I don't believe AL saw that smoke being revealed from Zizou, although they might have, because we now see the Bane doing for a wraparound gank. Has the Gem of True Sight, wanting to use that versus the Weaver. But just simple push in this mid lane. will be completely crushed. Arise blinking forward for that missed impale though, lifted up into the air, as well as that swarm doing a little bit of damage. Caesar getting pushed further into the corner. LSA knocking down to Jolene, bringing him very low, however, with all those other spells. There's the lasso finally. Caesar's getting a surge out and out of there, not in the good way either. Arise now and might be in a little trouble. Flame Break going to push him down to the low ground, instantly popping that Vendetta, will be able to escape successfully. Another spell stolen, so the Dragon Slave for the Rubik. Arise, got to be careful not to get too close. There is True Sight on this mid lane, however, no longer anymore. We do have the Assassin going to return to this fight. Who does he want to go for? Going to go for the Weaver. There's the blink forward for an Impale onto Rise, and then jumping into the Illuminate from Miggle. He can bring him down very low. All these spells being thrown out. Jolene still alive for some reason. 83 HP. That Bracer in the drum really helping out there. Now Miracle on the run does have Surge. Not going to happen. Eternal Envy there with the Rocket Barrage. And AL do take the tower, but in the end, the kill score still is 19 for 8. The gold is just barely in favor of AL because of their tower advantage, but the experience is going to continue to climb in the way of KP, and that means more levels on this gyrocopter already. Oh my god, what? Why? Just buy something, Gyro, Jesus. Already does have a very high level darks here. Now Nick Stassen even going to get a couple of his big skills up. Level 2 on the Vendetta is something you don't really want to mess with, even though he may not be hitting you with it. He's just going to use that blink into impale. Still, the fact that he could just follow up with that huge burst of damage makes him an incredibly dangerous hero. And he's not very rich, although he just got the blink dagger, so I guess it's fair enough. But 205, 54 CS, I feel like he should have a little bit more of another item, because he hasn't died yet. Well, whatever. We do have a lot of gold on this gyrocopter, who's been involved in many of these fights. 614 on him. I don't know what he's going to be going for. It could be a Shadow Blade, I guess. I mean, AL already do have a little bit of True Sight. There was a Sentry Ward in this mid area. I'm not sure if Shadow Blade would be the best choice for safety. Definitely a good aggressive choice, although it could just be straight Demon Edge into an MKB. We'll see what this gyrocopter wants to do, because holding this much gold, it's going to be a Manta Style. There you go. Manta Style to pick up for gyrocopter, recognizing the fact that AAL are very much so single target base, and then he will also have that anti-entangle ability. In case he does get netted, then he will instantly split out of that. Smoke up from 3, Arise looking for initiation. However, they have to pass this wall of fire that Rise is creating. Roshan getting brought down slowly but steadily. Miggle is on the high ground looking for the blinding light in case things get too hairy. He will throw out a couple of spells, even Pili Die tanking a shot to the face. There's the initiation from Bone. Gonna get a 2-man impale to follow up, and the Dragon Slave will fly through, instantly 2 down. Mania as well as Jolene now stuck in a very awful position. Elside not gonna hit anything, but Laguna Blade being used on that Weaver. Now the Bear can try to go for this Dark Seer. He's going to be brought down by Eternal Envy. Jolene stunned as soon as he revives, and he's going to die as well. Arise, going to blink forward for the Keeper of the Light. No spells to cast will save him, but it looks like he will, in fact, no, Jolene getting pulled back. Do they have True Sight? They do on Zizu. As before mentioned, there is a gem. Nightmare onto this Weaver. They really want this Weaver dead. LSA, as well as Impale. The Brain Sap will kill him. Entangle onto Bone should be fine. Very tanky. Has that mech. AL just losing heroes left and right. They did take the Roshan, but at what cost? Blinding Flash not going to help the chase onto Arise, although he will make it land. That Telekinesis Miracle going to get 3 men with that Impale. Very well played, but Eternal Envy doesn't really care. He's going to dive right in. Tower's still alive, but Rise going to hit by another LSA, and KP just free farming AL all over the place. Bone going to blink forward for yet another vacuum attempt. Unfortunately, is out of mana to do so. And KP, although AL do take the rush, oh, they're going to lose another one. Miggle trying to make it out of here. Nightmare. And Rocket Barrage. Fink goes the missile, and then Bane takes the right click from Eternal Envy. It's Roshan for AL. But did they even get a single kill? Did they?
Radiant's bottom tower
Did they?
is under attack.
They did not. Did they really not get a single kill out of that? I mean, it's not too hard to believe. But they got the Aegis, then lost the Aegis, then lost the Weaver, then lost a whole bunch of other heroes, and in the end it's 26-8 with the tier 1 tower also going for KP. This game really not looking that fantastic for AL. They are so very far behind after that huge engagement. You can see they were pulling it back just a little bit, but really, oh wait, they did kill the Bane. Well done, you killed the Bane, and that's it. You can see the gold advantage, the experience advantage is absolutely huge in favor of the Radiant side right now. And this is something that you really don't want to have happen, just because you need so much gold on the Weaver as well as the Lone Druid. This Weaver really doesn't have anything at all. It has zero impact in this game. 2 points in the Swarm, gonna help, but really not enough. Eternal Envy, though, might be a little bit out of position. No stun, no stuns. And Eternal Envy sticks the landing, gonna make it back home safely. You need so much gold on these heroes that AL have, on the damaging heroes that AL have, in order to really make them effective. Whereas KP, they're still reliant somewhat on these flat values. The wall is being incredibly devastating with the vacuum as well as everything that the Nyx Assassin has to throw at the enemy team. Now is working on a Dagon as well. Bane Elemental with that maxed out Brain Sap as well as the 4 points in Feeble, making it pretty much impossible for the Weaver to do anything. And Feeble means he's hitting for nothing per hit. And then you could germinate your attack for nothing times 2 per hit, which of course will double your damage output from 0 to 0. It's gonna be rough for AL unless they could find some really big items, and really their farm isn't really good enough to find these huge items. Even Lina packing around a Ghost Scepter, Bane with the gem as well as the what looks like is gonna be a Force Staff. Eternal Envy gonna go man mode. Instantly telekinesis being used on the wrong target. Eternal Envy is gonna do a little bit of right click damage. Missile is gonna fall, kill 2 creeps. Instantly stolen by the Rubik, so Miracle finds himself a good cast until Arise just corners him, nailing him to the floor. Lina with the Dragon Slave finding that kill. Now the objective for KP is going to be this bottom lane where Miguel, oh, you don't want to be here. Blink into Impale could mean a dead Keeper of the Light, although he will make it out alive. Has been at the Buckler as well as that headdress for so very long. Oh, blink forward for a vacuum. Blink forward for that secondary Impale. Miguel just cannot escape this onslaught. And Arise finds himself yet another kill. Very well done from KP to find kills left, one after another, left and right, center. There are just kills happening all over the place. And now they're going to capitalize even further by finding themselves yet another tower. So the tower does go down. Really, what could AL do about this? The Keeper of the Light is really the only person who could withstand this kind of punishment. There's really nothing else that they could do. If they throw I guess the Bat Rider and Rubik could kind of help, but if they throw the Weaver or the Lone Druid at them, then they're just going to get kited, they're going to get killed, and the risk of sending these 2 heroes into the fray like that is just way too risky. You cannot afford to risk those heroes because you need them to get as much guaranteed gold as possible. And if they go in, with the record as shown right here, that Lone Druid is not a huge factor in those fights. Even though the Bear does do some pretty good damage and Tangle is nice and everything, he's just simply not doing enough damage. So they really need more farm on these heroes, but they cannot find it. Jolene trying to find some gold in the forest. We'll get 1500, and I guess an MKB would be a really nice pickup. MKB after drums, I don't know. He just needs anything that gives him a plus green number. I guess Yasha would kind of help, but again, movement speed, is that really what you want to stack on the Weaver? I don't know. Simply don't know. He needs damage and health, and that's it. Disassembled the power tread, the Trenkles to make power treads, which will help him a little bit. Holding on to a lot of gold, but Eternal Envy starting to get really big now with Helm of the Dominator plus Manta Style. Still going to be reliant a little bit on his teammates to do the right click damage, or do the most of the damage, so that because his right clicks still aren't that hard with the Yasha as well as Helm of the Dominator. Not really huge damage items those. But very survivable indeed. Blink forward from Arise, gonna find Miracle, and a 2-man in that vacuum. Miracle's gonna die. As Arise takes a sit onto Zizu, but AL losing yet another hero. They cannot get any sort of out of position, anywhere near out of position. I mean, KP could easily just siege this tower. And you gotta worry about these blinks. Nyx Assassin blinking all around with the Force Staff as well. Eternal Envy gonna run straight into this Weaver. Open up the Rocket Barrage, not do that much damage. Instead, gonna farm these creeps. The fact that Arise could initiate from a mile away. Oh wait, Arise might be in a little trouble. Rise looking for initiation. Rise onto a Rise action, but the creep wave gets shredded. Helm of the Dominator being used to steal a Hellbear, and bugs flying in, which is gonna be just more free gold for Eternal Envy. Tower slowly getting brought down. In the meantime, we do have the Lone Druid on spot lane trying to make a push happen. Is going to go for Lightning Hammer. Actually just finished Lightning Hammer. Going to try to push that tower out as much as possible. Try to make a tier 2 for a tier 2 trade. Not going to happen though. Arise looking for a blink forward. Bone going to find the vacuum onto Miguel. Not going to be enough to kill him off, however. Twilight Die Fortunately, does not have any form of mobility, and now, oh, there's initiation, and Rise gonna find a miracle, but he stole it despite Carapace, might save him. Rise gets pulled up to the high ground, he might be in a little trouble here. Mana Bird's gonna kill off the Rubik, and Rise is gonna walk on out of there. Looking for a vacuum bone is what the Illuminate actually will kill off the next assassin. Actually, the Illuminate plus the Firefly will kill off the next assassin, so AL finding something. That lasso being used to decent effect. The towers, 2/2 for tier 2. Oh no, we might have a little bit of trouble onto Mania. Eternal Envy is going to go very, very deep. Teleportation, though, cancelled. And Mania can just turn around and actually kill Eternal Envy. Might be a little bit out of position here. Mania going to try to get sent back to base. Just hit him once, Eternal Envy. He didn't. It might not have been a mistake to hit him, because then you have to fight against a Lone Druid with the Lightning Hammer as well as an Armlet, which you actually put onto the main bear. Kind of interesting choice, but regardless, he will slip away. Gyrocopter is going to most likely get a butterfly. It looks like 3,400 gold. Doesn't need the evasion just yet, although the blinding light will be annoying in a little bit. MKB won't be a bad choice. Butterfly, MKB, both will be pretty good. But 30-9, a huge gold advantage, huge experience advantage for KP. And AL, they're starting to find a little bit of farm. Mania with the Lightning Hammer will mean that he gets a lot more creep kills a lot faster. And Weaver gonna hold a Mythal Hammer. If he goes for Desolator, I believe, that would be a huge pickup. He can actually start to do a little bit of damage, even though he will be enfeebled by this Bane. But I feel like more than likely it's going to be a Black King Bar, so he can stick in the fights. Still won't be doing that much damage, but he won't be taking as much damage either. We'll see. Both of those items will really determine how he plays the next couple minutes of this game. Spirit Bear going to get nailed to the floor with the Impale and the LSA, though very, very tanky. Rise going to blink forward for a little bit of body blocking, look for a couple more hits. Not going to happen. Actually, force that forward. He really wants to kill this bear. Is not going to happen. Going to find a regeneration in for his troubles, though. Roshan almost up in another minute. 3,700 gold in this Gyrocopter. He's really holding a lot of gold this entire game. I guess he doesn't have to spend it since he's doing decently. Darkseer with this now Shiva's Guard plus level 16. The wall is going to be a huge threat. Even though AL, they don't have many great heroes to take with that wall. I mean, you could try to take the Lone Druid, which it's a tanky illusion to take, but won't do much damage. You could try to take the Weaver. It's soft and it won't do much damage. There's really not huge targets to take with that spell, but it's really just having that in the middle and having that do a little bit of damage to all of AL. When you factor in the fact that AL are incredibly weak, then it will all work out well for them. Top tier 2, Jolene is pushing that out. Might actually find it. AL are in the KP are in the AL jungle, and there's really they have to teleport soon if they want to kill this Weaver off. Looks like the Weaver's going to abandon the chase, abandon the tower at least. Oh no, gonna run straight into Rise. Oh, he's trying for it. He saw exactly where the Weaver was going, but unfortunately no true sight. So KP just playing the slow and steady game. This Gyrocopter, you can see, not doing too much damage. Using his entire flat cannon to kill off a simple, easy camp, or I guess medium camp. With 4,300 gold in the bank, I mean, you could kind of solve that problem very, very quickly. I don't know what Miracle is doing on this side of the map for so long, but whatever. I'm sure we'll figure out soon. I'm sure he's plotting something genius. Really want to know what this Gyrocopter is going to go for. At this point, a little bit of right-click damage will do wonders for their team. I mean, they're already ahead, but now is as good a time as any to start scaling into right-click damage as opposed to more utility survival items from the Gyrocopter. But we'll see. Oh, there you go. Demon Edge. Looks like it's going to be MKB. Not going to even bother dealing with this blinding light from the Keeper of the Light. He will hit every single shot that he throws. And it will hurt. It will hurt an awful lot. KP, they do know Roshan is up. That's probably going to be their next objective. Arise a little bit too far away to help out the rest of his team in case they do start a little bit of a skirmish in the enemy jungle. He's finding a couple levels actually not going to go for Dagon. It's going to be Force Staff, which he has had for quite a while. But KP, they're just trying to look for a pick-off on someone before they actually go into that Roshan pit. They're going to go to the top lane where there is the very immobile Rubik. And if Zizu finds him with the Nightmare, it's going to be the death of him. Pylai die as well. Could hit him with an LSA. Oh yes, Miracle, you are in a ton of trouble right now. Zizu's gonna spot him out, and what? Did he not see him? I guess he didn't see him. Fair enough. No picks gonna be happening today. Both teams just farming up. It's gonna help AL a lot more than it's gonna hurt. KP a lot more than it's going to help him. Just giving the Weaver as well as the Lone Druid all this farm. Almost there is an AC on this bear. I don't know if you could hear what's going on outside my room, but these bros be broing hard, let me tell you. Gem's still up on the Bane, has had it for a good like 15-20 minutes. And KP just having to deal with the split push from AL. It's going to be a little bit annoying, but at the same time, Eternal Envy getting extremely big. Has enough gold to finish an MKB if he wants to, however, gotta be careful. Miracle does have that stun, and well, we have Batrider flying in the wings. Going to go straight for the Gyrocopter, blink it to lasso, don't misclick. Oh, entangle, don't even need to. There's the call down, Eternal Envy trying to fight his way out of there, but there's the lasso. And the call down instantly stolen and retaliated with. Rubik's going to find that pickoff. But now Zizu as well as Bohm going to find Jolene in the jungle. Ion Shell as well as the vacuum. Will it be enough? The wall is going to get dropped and no time lapse available. Impale onto Mania as he tries to teleport away. He will be worked down. Bone taking every single shot that the bear has. Lina with the Laguna Blade. A little bit of overkill there, but the bear does die. AL do pick up Eternal Envy, the hard carry for KP, but instantly buying back wants the Aegis, and they lose in that entire exchange. Both of their carries, the supports get out scot-free, but it's like whoopty frickin' do, who cares? Because you lost two of the most important heroes as this game continues to drag on. If these heroes don't have anything, then your entire team does not have anything. Roshan is going to get slowed down by this Ogre Frost Mage, which Eternal Envy has kept alive for a good amount of time this game. Look how good this spell is. What is this? 20% attack slow? Roshan is pretty much retarded right now. I mean, no offense, but yeah, another 30% attack slow. This Roshan is really having trouble. He's like drunk or something. At least he's not missing, right? Could be worse. And the Roshan will drop pretty much uncontested, 100% uncontested actually. Wait, how did Gyrocopter, oh, he bought back, right. But with the Roshan as well as another tier 2 tower, all of the gold that he spent, or most of it at least, is now recouped. He's going to make a straight push down the bot lane, it looks like. Aegis is up on the Gyrocopter, all the ultimates should be up. Fiend's Growth up in 10, Wall up in 12, no big deal there. Eternal Envy just standing on the high ground. Bone gonna look for a vacuum, gonna find two. There's the Impale to follow up, and already we have the Keeper Light going down. Eternal Envy gonna get dragged back a little bit. BKB up on the Batrider, so we can't be interrupted, but he won't really care. Eternal Envy just gonna pop everything he has. Jolene gonna get right click down. That wall, the wall is now down. The Batrider is gonna get hit with a little bit of his own medicine, but that's not really gonna bother him too much. Wall mostly a counter zoning measure by now. Bone as well as Zizu stuck in a corner. This is not where we want to be. Here comes the Angry Bear, but Eternal Envy has died, lost the Aegis. Now he's just going to go to town onto Miggle, as well as everyone else. Now he's actually going to fall on back. KP perhaps diving a little bit too aggressively, as they got hit really hard with that blinding light from the Keeper Light, as well as the fully charged Illuminate from him. Lina, though, not going to care. She gets out of there alive and finds herself an Aghanim Scepter. 920 damage, an increase of 250 damage over that level 2 spell, if I am doing my math correctly, which I sure hope so. Eternal Envy has now enough gold to recomplete his MKB that will help him just do some little more right-click damage. His right-click damage with the Demon Edge is decent, but really it's not enough. It's not the really shredding damage potential that we usually see from Gyrocopters. Doesn't even have buyback for another 2 minutes, so just buy the item. There you go. MKB up and available soon. Very soon. Good news for AL is that they ultimately do defend their tier 2 towers, and Lone Druid starting to get really big. Jolene's still not a huge threat, has gone for the Desolator. It's going to be up to this Weaver to stay out of harm's way and try not to get hit by initiation. If he gets hit by an Impale from the Nyx, or a Laguna Blade from the Lina, or the Fiend's Grip, then the Weaver's going to die. But if he could avoid all of that, if he could wait for his timings, make sure that everyone else on his team is going to get hit by the spells, then Weaver's going to dish out an absolutely sick amounts of damage. And we might see that right now versus Pylai Die. It's going to be a little bit risky taking a fight with the Lina right now as Weaver, having no real help items on him besides the Power Treads. This Darkseer now going to go for a Hex. This guy is incredibly stacked. 10-0-12. Wow, Bone hasn't died. Every time the Bears have tried to go in for him, it hasn't really gone that fantastically. Zizu as well as Arise trying to run away from this very aggressive bear. There's a blink forward from Rise. Going to land a stack of tar, trying to turn around for an Impale. Not going to happen. Batrider trying to fly away, but in the meantime, it's Mania. He's going to get worked on. Call down is going to hit very hard, and the Fiend's Grip from very long range. Eternal Envy going to shred him down. Has all the time in the world to do so. In the meantime, the Rubik has died in this bottom area, killed by the Darkseer alone, it looks like. Another 2 down from AL. It's KP keep everyone on their team alive. And then top lane, Bone instantly going up to that lane with those ion shells. He's not going to have too much success in pushing this lane with the Keeper Light as well as the Weaver here. But KP just going to continue to play this patient game. And their Gyrocopter is getting a lot bigger, a lot faster than the Lone Druid or the Weaver, especially the Weaver. Although Lone Druid almost has AC, even though he's completely stacked up on armor. Just a Fiend's Grip and then allowing Eternal Envy a couple seconds of right click. More than enough to bring that bear down, despite the fact that he is mad tank. And now AL, they're going to have to worry about a hasted, vendetta, level 18 Nyx Assassin. Rise might be in a little bit of trouble, but everyone is actually going to hide. And oh, Zizu, what are you doing there, buddy? Miracle just stole Fiend's Grip, which Zizu might have to worry about soon, but Rise is going to come in for Rise. Is going to land a Brain Sap as well. Going to pop the BKB. It will save him. Nothing goes through this unless they want to use a Fiend's Grip, which isn't available. Blink out from Miracle after canceling out Zizu for just a little bit of time. Everyone on AL on the top side will survive. Without Eternal Envy, I don't know if KP actually should do this. KP could push down the bot lane, or Eternal Envy could push down the bot lane, and then just have a little bit of a split push. Tier 2 on the top should be a very easy pickup for the KP side. There, the Keeper of the Light going for a very, very smart item. It's going to be a Heaven's Halberd. Going to force the Gyrocopter to build up a BKB. I mean, he's not going to care all too much. BKB isn't exactly a weird pickup for Gyro. But if he doesn't get that, then he's not going to be attacking, and he's going to be very upset. I'm not sure if you could split out of it with that match style. If you get disarmed, you could just split. But a Ring of Health. I don't know. Gotta be honest, Mingle. No idea what you're doing. Another Vendetta now up from Nyx Assassin. Gonna look for someone to snipe off. Might run into the Weaver, although looks like it's instead going to... Ooh, quick fingers from Miracle, dodging that Blink and Pale from Arise. But it doesn't matter, because even though a little bit of mana was spent, he's not going to care too much. The tower did go in favor of them. Now, one Arcane Boost. They should have another. They have a lot of Arcane Boots, actually. The tower does drop. In the meantime, we have, once again, the Lone Druid on spot lane. AC now completed. Can go toe-to-toe with Eternal Envy, and it might be enough to bring him down if he gets a couple of good entangles, especially with the Weaver helping out. Really, Eternal Envy's damage is not really the thing that you have to worry about. It's the initiation that's coming out from KP that they have to worry about. So every time they initiate, they pretty much get one, unless it's Miracle, who has incredibly quick fingers. This initiation from KP, just lock someone down, find them, kill them. That's it, and then the rest is just Eternal Envy just dealing the damage. And if that one hero is something like the Batrider, then AL's chances of winning that fight are extremely slim. So they don't have any real counter to the initiation from KP aside from that lasso. I guess Blinding Light is a decent one, but with MKB on this Gyrocopter now going to head towards a Butterfly of his own. It's going to be very hard for AL to make any sort of comeback in this game. They're going to continue to farm. Most of this game has been farming, unfortunately enough. No one likes to see these farm games. Actually, it's going to be a pipe. Okay. Well, it's definitely going to help them versus the Bane, versus the Lina, as well as the initiation from the Darkseer, which is constantly screwing them over. Oh no, Arise. Gonna find Rise. Oh, it actually doesn't... Oh, wait. I was just about to say he doesn't have enough damage to kill him off until Lina came in with a level 3 Aghanim Scepter Laguna Blade. That'll do it. That'll definitely do it. No time for a BKB. That hurts. That really hurts. I expect a Blink Dagger to come up on Lina. And they already have a Shiva's, and they already have a Sheep soon. So might as well just go for even more Blink initiation. Team blinking right here. Zizu, not sure what he's doing here, but he's definitely going to pay the price. A stolen Fiend's Grip, holding him out for that last tick of HP. And AL find a pick finally in this game. Now they're going to have to worry about this mid lane, where Eternal Envy is going to walk straight up the hill. Not sure why there's no backdoor protection, but I'm sure KP will not question that too much. Blinding Light, Illuminate flying through, heavy damage. But the mech up and they'll all be fine, forcing out the fortification. Bear in the meantime, the bot lane has been pushing this out, and really this Bear pushing this bot lane has been what has been saving AL for the past like 10 minutes. If the Bear wasn't constantly down there forcing someone back, then KP would have already breached the base. You could be pretty sure about that one. Gyrocopter is still getting a lot of farm, Pylai Die getting a lot of farm, hell, everyone on KP getting a lot of farm. That being said though, the Lone Druid, you can't really count him out. He does have the AC, another 2300 gold on him. Really, his contributions to these fights aren't nearly as spectacular to what KP have, like, individually. Rubik I mean, stealing something like a Fiend's Grip is nice and everything, but if you use it on the Bane, it's not exactly going to win you the game. Now with Lina having a huge payload. Oh, blink forward for an impale. Jolene is going to get locked down, is going to drop to the Ion Shell. Laguna Blade sniping off that last one, and Bone has a holy shit streak. 12-0-13. My god, this Darkseer. You can't kill him. And unfortunately, the bear keeps on trying. It looks like it's going to be the top lane. They're going to have to walk through a wall of fire. A ring of fire. But if they're not going to worry too much... Oh, looks like they're going to find initiation. There's a wall as well as an impale hitting Miggle as well as the bear. They should be able to bring both of them down. Bear trying to make his way out. Does have a resummon, so it's not going to matter too much. Miggle is instantly dying in this game. 2 supports down for AL. They really need this blinding flash or the mech or anything, really. Keeper Light will not have any of that to offer, and this tower is going to drop. Highlight Die even eating that up for the good of the team. Does have a Ghost Scepter in case things go hairy. There it goes. There's the lasso onto Eternal Envy. Doesn't have a BKB or anything to prevent that, but there's the Fiend's Grip onto Rise. You cannot escape with my Gyrocopter, he says. And now Jolene going to get vacuumed back, trying to get out of this fight. LSA going to land as well as the Impale. Rubik in a little bit of a position has stolen Fiend's Grip, but will that help him? I don't think it will. Eternal Envy doing the damage. Mania as well as the Batrider still alive. Bone. Oh, they're almost going to bring off his streak, but in the end, it's going to be Mania sitting in the middle of the call down. Kaboom. And Eternal Envy just literally not moving for the past, like, 20-30 seconds in that fight, finding an ultra kill in that fight. Lone Druid's alive, but they've lost top Raxes and mid Raxes soon to follow. The lane creeps are definitely in favor of AL at this point in time, but they've lost the Raxes, so that will... What? How did... Well, I guess... Okay. Sure, I guess that happened. Now we see Bone instantly going back towards the mid lane, wants to put as much pressure as he can. They need to get this creep equilibrium back into their favor. Top is definitely going to be in their favor, so it's going to be just slow, simple pushing from this bottom lane, from the mid lane. 45-13, it's definitely not looking good for AL. See the Lone Druid. He was in the middle of that fight the entire time. Yes, he's tanky. He has the cloak on the bear, on his main bear, has the assault cuirass on his other bear, and is gonna go for a basher, which is nice and everything. But AL, I just feel like they don't have nearly enough of anything. KP just have so much burst damage, so much initiation, that even if you're like all the way back here as the Keeper of the Light, they're just gonna blink straight forward for an impale, for a vacuum, drop a wall on you even, and they'll kill you off, make you feel bad about it on top of that. Now we see the Butterfly completed from Eternal Envy with another 2,600 gold to boot. Eternal Envy is incredibly stacked, and with Roshan up and available again, this is probably going to be the last fight of the game, unless AL take a fantastic one. Then again, even in that case, I gotta favor KP, because the wall as well as the call down, so devastating in this Roshan pit. Yes, AL do have Firefly as well as the Keeper of the Light. If they push someone to the high ground, they might be able to make something happen. But Eternal Envy, followed up by a Rise as well as Zizu, they go straight into that Roshan pit, and Eternal Envy can do this one solo. We'll need someone to help take the cheese. Don't know who that's going to be, but he's incredibly stacked. Nick's Assassin is incredibly stacked as well. A little bit of a waste uses of Vendetta, but it's fair enough. Just gonna mess with Eternal Envy just a little bit, but Lifesteal with Butterfly. Roshan's no big deal for this Gyrocopter. He is stacked. AP have pretty much gotten a kill per minute onto AL, and you can bet there's gonna be more blood coming. Now that Gyrocopter has a double life, he's gonna play as aggressively as possible. Even when he's playing as aggressively as possible. Wait, nope. Gonna drop the cheese. It's gonna be for Darkseer. Gonna be for no one. They're gonna leave the cheese there. Don't need the cheese. They're gonna settle for the bear. Has an armlet. Where's the AC on the main bear with the lightning hammer? There's Zizu way out of position. Gonna be dropped. Mech trying to keep him up. Bone will keep him out with that Force Staff. Bane Elemental gonna survive at least for now. Flame Break gonna kill him off, but in the end, Mania gonna be the exchange trade. Eternal Envy with that surge on him, looking for more blood. Gonna get a little bit of help from the Shiva's Guard. Slow down Miggle, slow down Miracle, double cooldowns being dropped. But Eternal Envy just lifted up into the air, doesn't even care. His Rocket Barrage still firing off. It's the beauty of technology. Eternal Envy now gonna try to go for Jolene with that Flat Cannon. Will not be able to make it happen, but he has his Aegis. He doesn't really care. He's gonna sit right in the middle, leave the gem on the floor, actually kill it instead. We do have a Rise trying to go for a little bit of a play onto the Batrider. Not gonna happen. Instead, gonna settle for the Weaver as well as the Keeper of the Light. Darkseer has dropped. It's instantly going to buy back. There's the LSA E-Blade even up on Lina. 5 seconds off until there is a Luna Blade. Doesn't really need it. A Rise with the right clicks doing some pretty heavy damage there. Will pick off that hero. Now Eternal Envy is going to move right towards the bottom lane. Kill the creep wave in about 3 shots and then kill the Raxes. Even if AL don't call it, ladies and gentlemen, this is GG. There's nothing anymore that they can do about this game. Eternal Envy is way too stacked. Highlight Die is incredibly stacked, and the Dark Seer is incredibly stacked. And then, yeah, Blink Dagger on Bane. He's not to say that the other heroes aren't stacked, just they are not as grossly stacked. They're moderately stacked. Oh yeah, 948. That did even well. That was pretty good damage actually. Hex onto Rise. Oh, Fly Pig, Firefly Pig, kill him off the LSA. Double kill. That's going to be it. GG has been called. AL are going to drop 0-1 in this best of 3 series between themselves and KP. We're going to move on to game number 2. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, like, subscribe, comment. If you did not, then tell me why. Other than that, GG. That LSA celebratory spell casting. Always try to do that. Drop a wall here if you can. Just like right here. It's what you gotta do. It's what you gotta do. GG.